plate after plate. Steam instead of sear. You get the show without the work that show implies. Let's start with the promise. Farm fresh on the walls. Country decor, enamel mugs, a little barn on the menu. Words like made from scratch and homestyle do the heavy lifting, selling time and care. You feel like someone stood over a pot all morning. That is the story you pay for. But here's the kicker. Employees have described a different back end. Pre-cooked meats held in vacuum-sealed pouches, powdered gravies whisked with hot water, and sides that arrive in bags ready to heat. Craft turns into assembly. Speed becomes the main skill. There's theater to make it feel real. A quick sizzle on the flat top for sound. A parsley sprinkle for color. Hot plates to give you that fresh-cooked burn on your fingers. Ticket times stay tight because much of the work happened in a factory, not 5 feet from the pass. And that feeds the value problem. You pay sit-down prices not for labor on your plate, but for the room, the service, and the mood. The bill reflects the booth and the brand as much as the food. It is comfortable, sure. It is not the bargain you think. Think of it like paying concert prices for a lip-sync show. You still hear music. You clap. But you did not get the performance you paid for. Same tune, less sweat. Menu phrasing nudges you along. Hand-breaded sounds real. Pre-breaded is the likely path for volume. Slow-roasted reads like patience. Slow reheated is what happens when a pouch sits in hot water. Words do a lot of work. Here's the margin math. Bulk frozen inputs keep costs low. Less skilled labor keeps payroll low. Put that under a homestyle label and the markup climbs while the prep time drops. That is the model. So adjust your expectation. You are not buying from scratch. You are buying a set piece that plays home cooking on stage. Now let's start naming the dishes where that gap hits your wallet hardest. Let's start with the cozy word on that menu. Slow roasted. Sounds warm. Feels honest. But when the roast shows up sealed tight in a plastic pouch, the story shifts. Employees describe beef arriving pre-cooked, bagged, and dropped into hot water or a microwave before it hits your plate. The gravy rides along as a powder mix that leans on stabilizers to hold shape, that keeps the look smooth after reheats. It also dulls flavor. Now the trade-offs. Real pot roast breaks into soft strands and carries a deep beefy gloss. The bagged route is often stringy on the edges and oddly firm in the middle. The gravy hangs thick and uniform. Gelatinous is the word you will think but not want to say. Sides tilt toward frozen. Carrots that soften but never taste roasted. Potatoes that go past fluffy into paste. Slide over to the turkey sandwich. You expect carved bird and pan gravy. What you get is deli-style turkey, stuffing from a mix, powder gravy, and cranberry from a can. It eats like a holiday shortcut sold as a hearty classic. Every component is fast to portion. None of it needed the long cook the menu suggests. Why this matters is simple. You pay for time and skill. You get speed and storage. The long simmer that would justify the price probably did not happen in that kitchen. But the price stays right where a long simmer would put it. Here is the cost logic. Bulk bagged meats and powders / back-of-house time. One person can run a line with timers and scoops. That is great for margins, not for your value. Widen the lens and it keeps going. Biscuits arrive as frozen dough. Staff bakes them off and calls it fresh. Breakfast, carton eggs on the flat top, pre-cooked frozen sausage, shredded frozen hash browns, and pancakes from a powder mix with artificial buttermilk flavoring. Quick, hot, uniform. Also staged. If you watch your sodium, these swaps carry a tax. Pre-cooked meats and mixes lean on salt and preservatives so they survive the trip and the hold. Fewer drippings, more thickeners. So the mini payoff. Comfort dishes here often act like convenience food dressed in restaurant lighting. And the worst offender some employees call out isn't even a steak. What if the steak you order isn't steak at all? Let's start with the expectation. Country fried steak should be a tenderized cut of beef, pounded thin, hand-breaded to order, and fried in a pan. The gravy should come from the drippings, fat, flour, milk, seasoned on the fly so it tastes like the meat it came from. That's the dish people think they're buying. But the real kicker is how it's assembled. Employee accounts point to a formed beef patty that arrives pre-cooked and frozen. It gets reheated, often in a microwave, with a quick pass on a griddle when there's time to fake a crust. The gravy, a powder mix whisked with hot water. The plate fills out with instant mashed potatoes and frozen vegetables. Fast, consistent, and light on skill. You feel the mismatch as soon as you cut in. A real cube steak gives you grain, chew, and little pockets where the breading clings. A formed patty stays uniform, more like a breakfast patty than a steak. The breading pulls off in thin sheets because it was cooked, frozen, and revived. The gravy lays on top in a glossy coat, tasting more like mix than meat. Now map the margin. Cheap patty plus mixed gravy plus frozen veg plus instant potatoes equals a premium plate price. The food cost stays low. The clock stays short. Your bill does not get the memo. That is a value trap dressed as homestyle. Menu engineering pushes it to the front. A southern staple feels safe, so it gets the spotlight. That placement pulls orders because it sounds like comfort, even when the back end is pure convenience. High appeal, low cost, easy win for them. If you care about value, you might want to take that same spend to a solid local diner. Many still pound cube steak, dredge in flour, and scrape a pan for gravy that actually tastes like beef. The plate eats better, and the price is often in the same ballpark. Inside the chain, you can blunt the damage by choosing simpler items where freezing matters less. Things cooked on the flat top, eggs cracked to order, or a basic burger when they griddle it fresh tend to hold up. Mini payoff. This is the clearest case of paying steak money for patty performance. If you still want to eat here, let's talk smarter orders and better uses of your budget. If the trap is paying for the show, you skip the stage by ordering items where freezing and mixes don't wreck the texture. You want food that actually meets heat, not a parade of pouches. Let's start with a simple rule. Fewer components, fewer surprises. One cooked item, one side, done hot. Here's where it gets tricky. Many sides are pre-made or frozen, and salads lean on processed chicken, bagged greens, and bottled dressings. That health halo costs more than it delivers. You get cold lettuce, rubbery strips, and a sweet sauce that hides the shortcuts. It reads light. It eats like a kit. So go simple. Ask for eggs cooked on the grill. A short order cook can give you scrambled, over easy, or a basic omelet without dragging in a lot of mixes. Plain oatmeal beats mix heavy pancakes. Fresh fruit, when they've cut it that day, is a clean swap for syrupy sides. A basic burger works when they griddle patties to order. It's one protein, one sear, minimal staging. Use custom asks to control the damage. Say light gravy or sauce on the side. Skip instant add-ons like stuffing and powder gravies that flood the plate with salt. Ask what hits the flat top versus what lives in the microwave. Staff usually tells you straight if you ask clean questions. You're not being fussy. You're making the kitchen show its work. Watch your budget with the same lens. Those homestyle combos stack the highest markups because they bundle pre-made pieces under a cozy label. Buy a la carte and pick items that require timing. Eggs, a grilled patty, toast, maybe a side that actually needs heat, not a thaw. There's also the local angle. A neighborhood diner with a loud griddle and a cook scraping a pan gives you what chains stage. Real pan gravies, vegetables that met a knife, and the same check total. You trade branding for proof in the skillet. That's a good trade. The health side lines up with the money side. Fewer powders and pre-cooked meats usually means lower sodium and fewer stabilizers. Your taste buds notice. Your wallet does too. Mini payoff. Trim the markup by ordering simple, cook-to-order items or by moving your breakfast to a better value spot. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like and share it with someone who loves comfort food. The truth is the homestyle promise often hides an assembly line. Your leverage is simple: what you order and where you spend. Choose items that show real heat and timing, not a parade of mixes. That is how you keep value on your side. Like and subscribe to help us keep the spotlight on the food industry's best-kept secrets. And drop the menu items you want us to investigate next. You steer what gets covered here. Next time, we follow the trail on another from-scratch claim that cracks under the heat lamp. Different sign out front, same trick in the back. You might want to hear this one.